The Rise of Africa, the continent, the diaspora, and BRICS explores the relationships that are affecting the global economy right now. This book explores the relationships of the African diaspora's influence on the African continent and why this is important in stabilizing relationships with an understanding of how BRICS impacts the future, good or bad. You can order your copy of The Rise of Africa today on Amazon.com.
Neo-diplomacy is the new currency. Neo-diplomacy is the new currency. The reason that I can say that is you have a couple of different factors occurring right now as we speak on the world stage. The dollar is being disrupted. Nations are no longer wanting to engage with the United States. But the third factor that affects each and every one of us is that there is a diaspora from the African continent that's willing and able to engage our brothers and sisters on the continent.
Well, shalom, salama, siyemi, shalom. Greetings to all my Israelite brothers and sisters from around the world, whether you're the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the house of Israel, or you're a Gentile grafted into the house under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. I welcome you this morning. This is a morning that Yahuwah has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. And you know, it's interesting that in this time, in this season, we are working against all odds. Supposedly, that's what they would like us to think. That we're working against all odds because of what they want us to see and experience. Now, the reality is this. I'm looking at an article. And it was a Wall Street Journal. But before I looked at this article, something had me just thinking about why they would put that article here at this time. Remember, the economy, supposedly what they've said is that this is a great economy. They've said that for years. However, it has always been us that has been the focal point of, well, we're telling you what the issue is, but nobody ever wants to listen until it starts to affect them. Black Americans are losing jobs and a warning for the economy. Unemployment rate Unemployment among black people reached its highest level since 2021. I am in the fight of my life. This is the Wall Street Journal. It was published August 31st. Unemployment in the U.S. remains historically low at 4.2%. Is it? This is where you have to see propaganda at its finest. Is unemployment historically low? And I'm going to say from the get go, these are all bots numbers and bot statistics. Because you always find that, especially in this administration, I'm sorry, they fired their BLS, their Bureau of Labor and Statistics person less than a month ago because Trump didn't like the numbers. So what they're doing is, and we've seen this tactic for years. If you don't know this tactic, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. If you're 20, 30 years old, okay, I get it. If you're 40, 50, 60, you ain't had no excuse. This is a tactic that they've used for years. Well, now crap is getting bad. Crap is hitting the fan. So now we have to come up with media publication to kind of ease folks into it. And then, well, now it's a sign that, things are getting bad because it's black folks that's being affected. Really? Now they want to throw that on out there. We've been affected. We've known that we've been affected. We've understood for years that we've been affected. No, the reason they're doing that is because they have to now come to the reality and the realization that they have been affected more so than what they can, quote unquote, lie about on the numbers. Their lie is unraveling. Let's just face it, their lie is now unraveling. So now they have to put these pieces in there, these propaganda pieces. Well, it's not so bad on us as white folks because, as long as it's affecting black folks, see how bad it's affecting black folks. It can actually start to affect us. No, it has been affecting you all. But they have been able to literally weaponize their own white supremacy against them. It's truly amazing. It's truly amazing to see how their white supremacy has literally been weaponized against them. This is the sign of the times. It's not the fact that we're calling out white supremacy and, we're the bad guys and we're the boogeymen. No, we're calling out white supremacy because we understood where vanity leads and how vanity literally leads to destruction. There are many scriptures on this. Many scriptures. But nobody wants to look at that because in this time frame, everybody wants to do things their own way that is pleasing to them. But then when that course of sin, that course of time, that course of prophetic understanding occurs, all of a sudden now they're trying to go to AI to figure out the reality of what's happening. AI, tell me what's happening. AI, explain this timeline. So you're going to go to a digital Ouija board. You're going to go to a demonic device to tell you the truth. We have just been in a time of straight up confusion. Confusion of faces is an underestimate of literally what the word has said. Because now for us, we're just looking at them. They're totally dazed and confused. They can't get it. They might as well just be dressed up in a little chimp outfit and spinning around chasing their tail in a three-ring circus. And the reality is as they're trying to say, please help us, help you from what? No, I'm going to tell you this. If somebody falls into a pit that's full of poop and the sign clearly says, watch out, stay away, do not enter, the gates are up for a reason, and then you crawl over the gate and then you go into that place and you fall into the poop because you can't see anything farther than the nose on your face. Where is that you and I's responsibility to save that person? I'm trying to figure that out. Where's that responsibility? Our responsibility is to warn, not save. The Most High saves. Yahusha saves. Call upon the name of who? Yahusha, and be what? And be saved. All I can do is give you the understanding of what's getting ready to happen. But when it happens because you don't want to listen, then you're going to be in a world of hurt. And we've all gone through that. I've been through that. We've all gone through that. That's part of our breaking process in Babylon. Because for most of us to get to where we are at right here, we've had to be broken from the vanity that we have been under. And now that vanity is now breaking. And I'm going to tell you this because this is the tie-in in this Wall Street Journal. They give you all this. Black workers have borne the brunt of that downturn, according to economists and a reflection of entrenched racial disparities. They go on to show black workers, black workers, black workers, and then they show Kenya Jenkins, 52 years old, who has been actively working, looking for work. And then they go on to show other folks. Kirsten Bradford had struggled to replace the full-time communications job. Have you noticed that they don't have black men in any of this? Well, they destroyed the families. And then when you see how dysfunctional everything is, you see that that dysfunction is something that they want to curse us with because they glorify and they show the dysfunction that they have placed on us. When you're looking at Cardi B and Stefan Diggs, and Cardi B is still married, and she's now pregnant with another man's baby. They just want to show and glorify dysfunction amongst our people. Do you know the funny thing is that all these nations now understand dysfunction and they don't want to deal with dysfunction anymore. They're actually sick of it. Why does the wicked persist? Well, because they've allowed it. And it's been allowed, it's been allowed, it's been allowed, and now they're destroying their economies because of it. How funny is this? How foolish is this? To be told to destroy your economy so that another economy could live. Please destroy your economy so we can live. Please tariff China because we can't tariff China. Because if we tariff China, then the U.S. dollar is going to get messed up, and that's going to be bad. That's foolishness. Matter of fact, that's his wickedness. All of these nations understand what time it is. When I was bringing up the summit, and I was bringing up the meet and greet that they had with Antonio Guterres, the UN chief, their boss. Gee, I wonder why. Because when the deal goes down, they're going to need to have peacekeeping operations. We've been saying this. Look, the reality is that we're in a fight because they don't want to tell you that they're in a fight for their very existence here as a nation. And let me get this thing straight. Their nation is their kingdom, and their kingdom is their religious authority. Do not get it twisted. But understand, they talk about freedom of religion and everything else. The reality is that America is the religion. It's just the religion of Babylon. See, what has happened is that they have been scared because we have actively rejected their religion. We have actively rejected their pledges, their subservience. And we said, you know what? We need to go and do something else. We need to look at something else. We need to get into these scriptures. We need to find why the Most High put us here. We need to have an understanding of who we are and why we're here in this time. We didn't have to worry about Chat GPT telling us. No, we went into the Word. Have you noticed that? They literally went to an image rather than going into the Word. Romans chapter 12. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahuwah, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto Yahuwah, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahuwah. Not Chat GPT. For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as Yahuwah had dealt to every man that measure of faith. For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office, so we, being many, are one body in Yahushua HaMashiach, and every one members one of another, having the gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us, whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith, or ministry, let us wait on our ministering, or he that teacheth on teaching, or he that exhorteth on exhortation, he that giveth, let him do it with simplicity, he that ruleth with diligence, he that showeth mercy with cheerfulness. Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil, cleave to that which is good. Wait a second. How come this modern day American Christianity, how come you never see them reading the Bible? They want to be quick to go into the New Testament. Abhor that which is evil. No, because they're lovers of themselves. The problem is that when you're dealing with wickedness and you're dealing with the people that were wicked from the beginning, do you really expect that wickedness to change? They've put on all the fronts and all the straw mans to create that dynamic of wickedness that they can say, well, that's not my interpretation of the word. Why? Because we're spiritual Israel. Do you see how that goes? You can't tell the usurper nothing. Okay, fine. Do your thing. Because why? Because we're done. You're done. You can't be done. You can't. You got to fight for this nation. No, we don't. Who said? Who says? Idiocracy. Most of our people that are here did not come here by choice. So are you telling me that we can, and we're not allowed to utilize and exercise the one choice that we have, and that choice is to say, we're going to stay out of this? Are you telling us that we do not have a choice? That we do not have a choice but to be involved in your failure? Oh, that's what stings. That's what hits them. Well, it wouldn't have failed if you did this and did that. See, they get all those straw mans. No, we're out of this. Remember, you don't want us around you. Remember, you don't want us. We're just victuals. You just want to pull us on out and say, hey, sing, tap, dance, and then you want to put us on back. All the while, we have brothers and sisters on the continent that want us to come on over and to build with them and to work with them and to show them how to create and maintain wealth of their natural resources that's literally underneath their feet because they've gone through the same things, just a little different. They have gold that they can't use. They have vineyards that they can't eat. How crazy is that? How crazy is it that you produce fruit and vegetables and all sorts of manners of different things for worldwide consumption, but yet you can't eat any of it? That's despicable. That's wickedness. And then when they say, well, we need to take care of our people that are actually doing this work, where you can't get a loan from the IMF. Abhor that which is evil. I think that that's evil. Just saying, I believe that's what the word says. Cleave to that which is good. Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love. In honor, preferring one another. Not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving Yahuwah. Rejoice in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer, distributing to the necessity of saints, given to hospitality. Bless them which persecute you. Bless and curse not. Rejoice with them that do rejoice, and weep with them that weep. Be of the same mind one toward another. Mind not things, mind not high things, but condescend to men of low estate. Be not wise in your own conceits. Recompense to no man evil for evil. Recompense to no man evil for evil. You know, the other day as I was at school, there's a couple different stories here. One of the stories, I'll begin with this one. There was a person walking down the sidewalk as a student. I'm on my planning period, so I'm walking back and forth to get some things at the office to make sure I have for the class. And I see something. I see this person walking with no shoes. And you have to have shoes on because, you know, times are crazy. Let's just put it like that. We literally do school shooting drills and lockdown drills like every 2 weeks. That's how crazy everything is. We do more drills than we actually do like education. I kid you not. And so as I'm start trying to stop this person, I called out. I said, "Young man." And this person keeps walking. I said, "Listen, I know you hear me talking to you." I said, "Stop." This person turns around. I said, "Listen, I don't know what you're trying to do, but I do know that the rules for this school is that you need to have your shoes on." And the person said, "Well, I need to do I'll do that at the gym." I said, "No, you need to do that now." And then, they continue to argue. And I said, "Okay, listen, I'm not going to have this argument with you. Let's go to the office and then you can put your shoes on there. And then you can go right back to lunch." So as I was waiting on the person to get there, because this is a Hebrew. And listen, the stature was different. You're right. The build was different. And I said to the administrator, I said, "Yes, I was trying to have this young man get their shoes on, for school policy." And then the administrator said, "Oh, no, no, this is a young lady." I said, "Oh, excuse me." I said, I apologize. It's confusion. It is confusion of the highest order because I see the masculine women, young ladies, and I see the effeminate young men. And all this is because of some sort of sexual abuse. For men, young men, to deal with sexual abuse, they internalize it with being effeminate. For young women, they internalize it with being masculine so they can then be strong enough, so they think, so their flesh tells them, so the enemy tells them. We are a broken people. And then that very next day, I'm there to greet the students when they come in. And it was a Caucasian young lady. And I knew that she had some issues in terms of um, autism and things of that nature, and all sorts of behavioral things. And I don't care if you're black, white, brown. It doesn't matter to me because I look at it like this. I'm here to represent Yahusha. Yes, I'm an Israelite. Yeah, I get it, but I'm still there to represent Yahusha, to be a light to the nations. And so I had this person in my class a few weeks ago, and then they move that person to another class. And because I was a teacher that actually treated the kids with respect, that leaves an impression on the kids to be treated as a person. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I mean, literally, my classroom is like lockdown. I'm in a lockdown, and I'm right, literally, smack dab down the street from Hillsborough County, which is one of the biggest jails in the nation. So big, they even had like they were on the TV show Jail or Lock Up, one of those. They had a reality TV show. That's all I know. What they had that, and it was like Vegas, and then like Dallas or something like that, Arizona. But the place that I live in is not live. I work in, not live. Place where I work at. You know, again, I see the Confederate flag every single day. They're flying right on I-75. That area is very, very interesting. A lot of far right groups and everything else in there. And that particular day, you know, I'll greet the young lady. I say, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "You ready for a great day?" "Yeah, I'm ready." "Yes, Mr. Copeland, I'm ready." This particular day, she comes up. She said, "Mr. Copeland," she said, "I'm sad. I'm sad, Mr. Copeland. I don't know what to say." And I said, "Well, tell me what's going on." She said, "Well, Mr. Copeland, I just lost my mom." I said, "I'm sorry to hear that." She said, "Yeah, my mom died from a overdose." I said, "Wow." I said, "I'm sorry to hear that." I said, "I'm going to be praying for you. Do you need me? Do you need any help? Do you need to talk to the counselors?" She said, "No, I've talked to Mr. Copeland, but I just wanted to let you know." I said, "Well," I said, "I am sorry to hear that." And I said, "I am going to be praying for you." She said, "Thank you, Mr. Copeland." She said, "Well, you know, I haven't really seen my mom in like 5 years." And she breaks down her story. Now I could have gone there and be like, "Well, the curses are reversed, and I got to get back to the rest of the students." Or I could have taken the time to talk to someone that's hurting. See, the reality is that we have learned not to be compassionate because it has been them that don't want to show compassion. And let me tell you, we're not them. We're different people. We're special people. I don't know how I have affected that child's life, but all I do know is that I try my best to live and to walk and to carry out this word, no matter who it is. Because also, a lot of our kids, they'll have a really rough facade. But all it takes for me is literally just 5 minutes just to sit down and talk to them, to our Hebrew young men and young women. And as soon as I talk to them and as soon as I just download into them, those are the best kids. For me, at least. Now, they may be a terror to other teachers. Hey, it is what it is. They may be a terror to other teachers. They see me. Hey, Mr. Copeland, how you doing? Because I go in there and I'm not there to berate or belittle. I'm not there to think of myself high-minded. I'm not there to say, well, you need to listen to me. I don't do any of that. I tell them, hey, listen, I want you to learn. I want you to be successful. I want you to take this time to grow and to learn and to think. Yes, we have to read from the text, but the best thing is I want you to tell me what you think. And I told him this. I said, because every single opinion matters. Now, you can have a wrong opinion and you can have a right opinion, but we'll take a look. Those kids don't know what to do. Because you want to know why? Because they're programmed to know the answers that is set in front of them. And that's pretty scary. Don't question anything. That's really scary. I said, no, let's have a discussion. And when we talk, just a quick 5-10 minute discussion, and then they write. Because honestly, I want to get to understand what it is that they're perceiving. You know that these folks make billions of dollars, trillions of dollars on influencing young men and women. It's unreal. It's unbelievable. Just imagine that you tap into that. And you do it in a righteous way. And you let them be creative and you give them an understanding. I told the kids, I said, listen, I'm not going to be the traditional teacher. I said, matter of fact, you'll probably never ever meet a teacher like me. I said, a matter of fact, I do have to watch my mouth because I don't know how long I'll be here because I have a mouth. I have opinions too. Good, bad, and different. I said, I'll try my best to ensure that I'm not stepping on toes, but I also want you to think about things. And you don't have to answer anything, but I want you to think about it. I want you to have that discussion with your parents. They don't know what to say, they don't know what to think. But to this date, knock on wood, my classes have actually been pretty good. Because I want to be a hearer and doer of this word when it says, recompense to no man evil for evil, provide things honest in the sight of all men, if it be possible, as much as lieth in you. Live peaceably, live peaceably with all men. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourself, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith Yahuwah. That's it. That's the key. We don't have to worry about, whoa, are they were doing this and are they were they doing that and I got it. No, 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 no. Listen, stop trying to do things outside your pay grade. Our pay grade is to do what? It's to be a light unto the nations. I will repay, said Yahuwah. Does it say Karis? Does it say anybody? Do you copy and paste your name as that you're going to be the avenger of blood? No, that's for Yahuwah, and guess what? He does it masterfully. We know that we're the apple of Yah's eyes, so let's show the world why we are that, and not be led by their wickedness. I'm just saying. Therefore, if thine enemy hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. For in doing so, for in so doing, thou shalt heap coals of fire on his head. Let them think about their own wickedness. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. See, as you're working against all odds, understand who's behind you. Understand who's already won the victory. His name is Yahushua HaMashiach. And he gives you victory in all things. Even when you don't see it coming, even when it may not be what you think it's going to be. Even though it may hurt a little bit for that moment of time, maybe for a week, maybe for a month, but Yahuwah is good. His love truly endures forever. Before I go, family, we still need support for this container fund. I definitely appreciate your support for this. It is it is in the area, and now we need to get it to the final destination. And no, I'm not talking about the final destination movies, Origins. No, we're not sensing death. No, this is life. We're bringing life because we're helping with getting that container that mostly has newborn and maternal equipment in there. I've shown the videos on this channel of how the container was loaded, and now it is in the area. I should get final word here in a couple of days as to the current disposition. But this is really a big deal, family. So here we are in this time. Yeah, I was just checking on it. There's about a couple more days on this. So we can make this thing happen, family. We truly can. And we truly will. Because that's the Most High that's working that. Yeah, I know there's aliens. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar sides aliens. I get it. Shaq sides aliens. Yeah. Brittany Griner sides aliens. Is it Brittany or Brett? You know that thing just totally blew up when whenever they are was made to pay child support. I said, "Oh, it's over, over and over." Let me understand this anatomical situation, this biological misinterpretation. Oh, and now they banned for life. Boy, oh boy. Okay, I got to get up on out of here. You all be blessed. Thank you all, family. Definitely keep me in your prayers. I definitely appreciate it. A lot of things are moving and happening and shaking in the background, so I really do need your prayers and support, family. So, with that said, most high willing, you'll see me on tomorrow. And with that, family, shalom, salama, siyemi, shalom, peace and blessings. Yasharel.